While it would only have looked like something cheap to a human who couldn't understand magic, its magical worth was incalculable. Alright, let's take a deep breath and do the following. We spit on the steak, we put it on the ground, do the YMCA dance, bippity boppity boo, and then there you go. Mammon has been summoned.
さあさあ、おいでなさい。罪を許しなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ。強欲のマモン。
I concentrated my mind. I made the anti-magic toxin that filled my body zero. Imagine a vast, untainted space. Doubt and common sense all resist magic. Make the resistance zero, and erase the burden towards magical power. Inside my head was the image of a vast space. It was a nighttime world where I floated in the air, and the neon stars on the ground sparkled. A world where the stars that should have covered the heavens were drowned out by the light from below, and the stars covered the ground instead. In the world of vast night sky with no obstructions, I imagined the wind blowing through freely. Just then, in the room where no wind could blow, the free nighttime wind whirled around. A long-forgotten sensation raced through my entire body. The unique feeling of exaltation filled when using magic. From Mammon's steak, held out in my hand, I usually began to feel a pale light. The cyclone gyred around the steak. The hefty steak floated a bit into the air. Guys, maybe we should try to do this magic without destroying the entire room.
見事だよ。ブランクは君から才能を奪わなかったね。
さあさあ、おいでなさい。罪を許しなさい。
Don't push it.
煉獄の七杭が一つ。強欲のマモン。
Don't push it. You're gonna destroy us all if you're gonna fail this.
その姿を私の
I slowly raised my hand, and as I brought it higher than my head, almost as though it was being sucked upwards by it, the stake of Mammon likewise floated high up into the air, and gradually began to shake. Its shaking grew faster and faster, and then it burst! Oh god! Hands up! With a speed faster than the eye could follow, it flew around, violently rebounding off the walls of the room. The terrible sound of it jumping from place to place bore down upon me, trying to make me flinch. But I lose my mental concentration. Then, the stake, which had been flying around at an incredible speed, finally restrained itself and faced me. It was in the air, just a few centimeters away from my forehead, held back by the defensive barrier created by the scorpion charm. Well, it's nice that you have your scorpion charm. He was trying to break the defensive barrier, eating into it with incredible power. But Mariage-chan's barrier wouldn't be broken so easily. Okay, just calm down there, Mammon. Just calm down. Hello.
無理か。食い破れない。
The snake muttered hatefully. You could probably say that I had been saved thanks to the scorpion charm. How that, my way of killing time until I got sleepy would have become a way to kill time for all eternity. Yeah, I would love to hear an explanation of that in human claim. When Mammon's steak realized that it was unable to gouge me, it gave up forcefully and changed its form from that of a steak into that of a person. Alright, are we cool? Are we cool here, Mammon? Cause I have some spare cookies, if you're still not calm. In our usual shameless outfit, which I would never be seen walking outside in. Yeah, again, reminding me of the outfit that they were having, and leg. Although you could say it suited her, in a demonic sort of way.
園児様なの？ずいぶんとみすぼらしい魔力だけど、本当に園児様？
お久しぶりね、マモン。元気にしてた？
てっきりもう約5面の家具は何度で朽ち果てるだけだと思ってました。それでこれはどういう余興で？まさか私の所有者が園児様とでもおっしゃるつもりで？うん、園児が君の主人だよ。マリア卿、これはお見苦しいところ。先ほどの結界はマリア卿の？うん、今の園児じゃひょっとしたら君にやられてしまうかもしれないって思ったからご符を貸したの。はあ、マリア卿に私の主人が園児様だと言われたんじゃ断りようもありません。
Indeed. Angie may be your master, but Maria over here, sorry, Lady Maria is your grandmaster. Bow down before your grandmaster, Lady Maria.
園児様、何なりとご命令を。私が必要とされるということは新しい儀式を、新しい生贄を、もっとも私を使いこなし自らの手を汚す程度の覚悟が終わりならの話ですか。
その役割は私はもう求めてないわ。昔同様にただ話し相手になってくれるだけで十分よ。ええ、それがお望みでしたら、家具は使われてこそ家具。お呼び出しいただいただけで光栄ですとも。園児様。
Mama had a slightly complicated smile on her face. She had accepted Angie as her new master because Maria had told her to. Like she hadn't gotten over her discontent at working for Angie with her frail magical power. Or perhaps she had some other reason for hating Angie. But for now, it seemed that she couldn't disobey Angie despite her discontent. So I guess in a way, Maria also knows the stakes in person. I mean, I guess if we are to think of Angie summoning Mamon over here, we can definitely think of Maria in the past summoning the stakes as well, not just Beatrice, you know. So I guess it makes me question, our hidden culprit must have given the stakes to Maria as well, and Maria toyed with the stakes as well at her own will. Which is definitely questionable.
それで私は何をすれば？
わからない。適当に賑やかにしてくれればいいわ。昔みたいに。
お言葉ですが、多分園児様がおっしゃる賑やかさとは私たち姉妹の騒ぎのことだと思います。私一人では難しいかと。お忘れで？そうだね。七姉妹はみんなが揃うと本当に賑やかだったもんね。
Yeah, you have no idea.
でも今の園児の魔力じゃマモンを呼び出すのが精一杯だと思う。他の6人の悔いも紛失してる。恐れながらマリア卿、私の悔いを経由し七姉妹に語りかけ呼び出すことは不可能ではないかと。私を刺激されるのでしたら、その程度の力は園児様にはお持ちいただきたいところですが。
The other stakes have been lost, you say. Mamon giggled. Apparently, she wanted me to summon the other sisters without a vessel. I see. Unable to be satisfied with being summoned alone, she asked for the other sisters to be summoned as well. I get it. Agreed. She was like this back then, wasn't she? Bliss for furniture is when it is used. Being used, no matter how roughly, is furniture's joy. not only that, but no matter how much care you might treat them with, if they are not given a job, no one gave them the greatest anguish. Mammon spoke as though to provoke me, but what she wanted was for me to summon the other sisters somehow and rescue them from the world of nothingness. Oh, why not just be honest and ask me to then? Demons really are difficult. You know what I'll say.
エンジ、無理しないで。マモンを呼び出せただけでリハビリには十分だよ。
あら、一人だけでリハビリになっちゃうの？どうせ暇つぶしよ。いいわ、マモン。乗りかかった船だわ。呼べるところまで呼んであげる。本当に？さすがエンジ様！さあさあ、早く早く！
You know, she had said it, and saying that Mammon hadn't really expected to be able to ask this of Angie. She hopped around, badgering Angie to summon the other sisters. Alright, calm down. The consumption of physical and magical power used to call Mammon alone was considerable. It'll probably be pretty tough to do 6 more. I may know of the magical power of those who reach the level of being called witches, because those people can summon these sisters with no more than a snap of their fingers.
マモン、エンジに無理をさせないで。エンジはまだ本調子じゃないから。
エンジ様はみんなを召喚してくれるって言いました？
Actually, I only said that I called as many as I could. I guess this is agreed once more.
無理しないで、エンジ。もう今日は休んだ方がいい。
Yeah, I mean, she only hears what she wants to hear.
君は十分疲れてるよ。
いいわよ。どうせ暇つぶし。ばったり寝込めるくらいに疲れさせてもらうわ。
This time, there's no vessel. I'll have to straighten the image solely from the knowledge in the grimoire, and manifest them just with that. I held my hands out into the air, replaying in my head the sensation from when I had summoned Manon. I don't know about Angie trying to summon the stakes and all that. I mean, this isn't the kind of stuff that we really want in the game board. I mean, we want Angie to focus on the human claim and fight alongside Balor without being affected emotionally by whatever is going on around here. I mean, it is good, but still. I mean, I guess in a magical sense, we can get the help of the 7 stakes if they are able to be summoned by Angie, but Beatrice has a lot more power. Therefore, you could say that Beatrice has the higher power to control the stakes and not obey Angie, because Angie has lower magical power at this point. Come on, I know all the 7 sisters personally. Remember, in the past, the times I talked with them. Once again, the power of magic began to fill me up. It radiated a faint and yet distinct pale blue light from both my hands.
エンジ様、しっかりしっかり頑張って。ねえマリア卿、エンジ様は必ずみんなを呼び出してくださいますよね。また7姉妹は再会できますよね。ね。
うん、きっとね。
Actually, you know, I wouldn't mind a pajama party with the 7 sisters while we're here. I mean, that's a good point that we're having here.
でも、それが今夜という保証はないよ。
エンジ様ならできますって。エンジ様、お願い。
Pajama party, pajama party, pajama party.
末っ子のアスモから。アスモデウス7条。わかった。末っ子から順番に呼ぶわ。
Yeah, it makes sense to call them from youngest to oldest, because I would assume that the oldest sisters would require a lot more power since they have a lot more experience, I would assume. While the youngest, they have lower power. A strand of hot sweat dripped down from my forehead. This really does put one hell of a strain on you. pale light in the space began to form into the vague outline of a girl.
さあさあおいでなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ、色欲のアスモデウス。
There was no vessel. However, with a strong core conviction that she definitely did exist there, I began to crystallize her form. Her outline became distinct, and the form of the youngest of the seven sisters, Asmodeus, was finally created.
色欲のアスモデウス、ここに。ここはどこ？私は生きてるの？アスモ！よかった。マモン姉さん、ここは一体。私を呼び出したのは誰なの？エンジ様が私たちをみんな蘇らせてくれるって。
No, I didn't.
次はベルゼをお願いします。
ベルゼブブ六条、暴食のベルゼブブ。さあさあおいでなさい。
If I just keep on like this, I wonder how many I can summon. If I lose my concentration, that'll probably be it. Alright, well, don't strain yourself, you know. The pale light made an outline and formed into Beelzebub.
暴食のベルゼブブ、ここに。ベルゼー！エンジ様、すごい！
Amon and Asmodeus jumped on Beelzebub, celebrating their reunion. Alright, well, this is cute. Summoning 3 people at once. My head was throbbing. Without resting, I summoned the next one.
さあさあおいでなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ、怠惰のベルフェゴール。怠惰のベルフェゴール、ここに。なんと私がまだ必要とされるとは。
Actually, isn't Belphegor the oldest one of the sisters? I mean, you would assume that she would be the last one.
この調子で次はサタンネーオ、レビアネーモ、ルシネーモ。
ええ、わかってるわ。
Oh boy, we are gonna summon Satan! Even to this day, that's still... I never would imagine that those words would come out of my mouth. And that would actually happen.
だからお願い、あまりうるさくしないで。4人同時は結構きつい。
エンジ、もうそれ以上無理をしないで。これだけ久しぶりなのによく4人も召喚できたよ。
Yeah, I agree. Let's take a pause for tonight.
よせ、マモン。今のエンジェ様には我らの召喚は負担を強いている。エンジェ様、どうかご無理をなされませんよ。
私は嫌。エンジ様は約束したもん。
Come on, don't be greedy.
また私たちみんなと遊んでくれるって。
I mean, I'm telling Mamon to not be greedy. That's kind of a high task right over there. No, I...
ねえ、エンジ様、みんなとまた会えるって。すぐに会えるって約束した。
I mean, you're basically telling a dog to not wag their tail. I mean, that's something that you don't do.
そうね、約束したわ。すぐにがいつのこととは約束しなかったけど、確かに私は約束したわ。
だから守って。じゃないと私は今日までそれを忘れていたエンジェ様を許さない。
さあさあおいでなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ、憤怒のサタン。
The mind was starting to get hazy. But alcohol. I may have forgotten those days. I may not have thought of them as anything but sadness and loneliness. Sorry, the short time I spent with these girls was without a doubt fun.
フンドのサタン、ここに。
Hail, Satan!
何やってるのよ、あんたたち。私たちが井戸端会議をするだけでどれだけエンジェ様に負担をかけてるか分かってんの？
Satan, who had apparently figured out the situation immediately after being summoned, yelled out in a loud voice, telling her sisters off. Yeah, we'll blame Mammon for that. She's being greedy about it. That loud voice made my consciousness fade again.
私たちはベアトリーチェ様より休むことを許された役目を終えた家具なのよ。再びお役に立てる機会を賜るどころか新しい主人の負担になるなんて、そんなの家具の直れ。早く姿を消しなさい。
うん、サタン姉の言う通りだ。姿を消す。お前たちも姿を消せ。それがこの瞬間一番エンジェ様のお役に立てる。
私は嫌よ。みんなを呼び出してもらえるまでは嫌。
私も嫌。お腹すいた。
Bells, what does hunger have anything to do with this?
じゃなくて、やっと再会したばかりなのにもう帰るなんて嫌。
わがまま言ってんじゃないわよ。ほら、とっとと姿を消す。ほら、アスもさっさと消えなさい。
サタン姉さんがいじめた。いつも末っ子からなんてずるい。
実に賑やかね。退屈しない。
もう十分だよ。今のエンジェには限界を超えてる。
そうね。
In the situation where I had summoned 5 of them, they were messing around as they pleased. I was placing far too heavy a load on me currently, with my mere magic power. This is it. As my consciousness grew distant, I collapsed onto the bed. Well, congratulations, Stakes. You killed her. Let it be known that you are the ones responsible for her death. Have beds always felt soft? It seemed that the sisters were still squabbling together as much as they liked. For a way to kill time until drowsiness comes to get me. This will do. Feeling something warm and nostalgic in the sisters' liveliness, I sank into a world of deep sleep. At the entrance to my dream world, I felt Marione-chan and Saktaro waiting to receive me. Good morning, sleepyhead. You had your first hangover in your life. Well, I mean, instead of alcohol, you had a lot of magic inside of you.
お疲れ様。そして頑張ったね。ウリュウ、おかえり、エンジェ。
Welcome back, huh? And I sure respond like this. I'm glad to be home. That's right. Just once in the past, I underwent training in order to step into the world of witches. I accepted that the only power which could save me from my sad, painful days at St. Lucia Academy was the thing called magic, and I received Marione-chan's introduction to the basics.
広大な空間をイメージ。峠のドライブインから麓を見下ろした時の風景。こう
I projected that scene from memory into my mental world. Normal little girls get over their admiration of magical girls during elementary school. training in absolute earnest to use magic at this age. I have to say, I'm embarrassed for myself. But even that embarrassed emotion felt pleasant to me now. Right now, I was learning mental concentration from Marione-chan in order to use magic. It wasn't going very well. It was about as hopeless as going to a person who can wiggle their ears, asking them how they do it, and expecting to learn anything at all from their demonstration. It seems that you need to imagine a vast space to gain the mental concentration for using magic. So, I remember the time from my younger days when my family had gone on a small vacation, and I had looked down towards the base of a mountain from a viewing platform at the rest stop on the peak. And I tried painting this scene in my mental world.
まだまだ狭い。もっともっと広い空間をイメージして。そして、エンジェだけの新象世界を作り上げるの。
I mean, that is a good thing to do as well. I mean, outside of magic too. When life throws a lot at you, be in your own world.
まだまだイメージが霞んでる。空気に温度もないし、風もない。匂いもない。まだまだ世界が希薄。それらは後でもいいから、今はとにかくもっと広い世界をイメージして。
ウリュウ、どうして広い空間のイメージが必要なの？
人間の体内には生まれながらにして魔法を妨げる毒素があるんだよ。その毒素を浄化しないと魔法はうまく使えないの。そのために有効な方法の一つが広大な空間をイメージすることなんだよ。
さっきは飛行機の窓から見た世界を思い描いたけど、それもダメだったわ。もっと広大な世界なんて見当もつかない。
ならマリアの持つ広大な世界をエンジェにも教えてあげればいいよ。そしたらエンジェにもイメージがしやすくなるんじゃない？ウリュウ。
そうね。私もお姉ちゃんはどんな世界をイメージして魔法を使ってるのか興味があるわ。私もそれを参考にする。
ダメだよ。新象世界は広大で、そして孤独じゃないといけないの。自分以外に一切遮るものがない世界。
I guess that means she has to create it herself.
だからその世界を人に教えたら、その世界は孤独ではなくなってしまう。
Magically speaking, I guess it makes sense.
だから新象世界は誰にも明かしちゃダメなの。だからエンジェも上手に新象世界を描けたら、それは自分だけの秘密の世界にするんだよ。
ウリュウ、マリアケチンボ。
ありがとう、サク太郎。
She is being a mean teacher.
修行に近道なしってわけだわ。努力してみる。大丈夫。ヒントは十分もらえてるわ。
ウリュウ、エンジェ、頑張れ。
Alright, well, might as well. Do your best. I come to think that there was no way I could be saved by something like magic. After all, magic doesn't exist in this world. And that kind of thing should be nothing more than a fantasy, a delusion, a daydream. However, Marione-chan had shown that she could fill her own world with happiness using a power that was impossible for me. I've been looking down on that happiness as an empty happiness. And I've been denying it all, thinking that because I didn't accept magic, I couldn't accept the happiness that came from it either. Marione-chan's world grew happier and happier. In the past, I had disparaged it, calling it painful to look at. But that might have been nothing more than jealousy. It was time for me to admit that. So I guess it's not just what I was talking about before, but there's also an element of jealousy over here, of Maria having something that Angie couldn't have it so easily. Actually, it's kind of similar to what I was talking about before, but I guess when you put it that way, yeah, there is jealousy. And doing so was my first step in my search for happiness. A vast space. A dry wind that can blow unobstructed by everything. Let me feel that wind blowing through my hair. Alright, well, you know what? As long as this doesn't affect Angie's mentalities and tactics that she's gonna use in the game boards, this can actually benefit her. I mean, still, there's the impending doom of Kasumi in the future, but in which, I mean, we're definitely gonna have to deal with that somehow. That's, you know, if we are to take care of Kasumi, the only thing that we have left over here is Angie focusing on herself, which is something that she totally needs. And then I don't need it. Push the ground away. Downwards. Downwards. In other words, it was as though I had floated up, leaving the ground far behind. After pushing it further and further downwards, the ground grew foggy and faint, and for the first time I began to feel the sky. Ooh, baby! And then I understood its vastness. In an instant, I felt the vivid wind pass straight through my body. In other words, blow through without any resistance. A little too much vastness, but I guess this will work.
そう。その感覚を維持して。ええ、わかる。
Yeah, you should totally maintain that. I mean, it's not like you have any choice to begin with.
すべての妨げから解放されてるのがわかる。
やったエンジェ、やったエンジェ、魔女の世界への最初の第一歩を踏み出した。
これが魔女の世界。
うん。じゃあ、エンジェがずっと望んできた魔法を練習してみよう。
The magic that she always wished for. I wonder what that is.
お友達を呼び出す魔法。
Oh.
エンジェを寂しさから救い出してくれる味方を作り、それによって幸せになる魔法を。
Of course.
エンジェにも僕みたいなお友達が呼び出せるの？うりゅうりゅう。
今のエンジェにはゼロの海からサクタロほどの友達を呼び出すにはまだまだ早いね。最初は呼び出しやすい友達から練習しよう。
最初は何を？
エンジェはマリアージュ・ソルシエールの魔女だから、同盟の魔女が刺激する存在はエンジェもまた刺激することが許されてる。例えばサクタロは私の友達だけど、同じ同盟のエンジェにとっても友達で、そして召喚することができる。
Oh, that's nice.
今度試しにサクタロを呼び出してみて。寂しくて辛い時、サクタロがきっと元気づけてくれるよ。
Alright. You could call Sakutara being employed by One-chan. So as a witch in the same alliance as One-chan, it's also possible for him to summon Sakutaro. I met Sakutara's gaze. What a joy it would be to have him just be sitting there by my pillow, so he could talk to me a bit on lonely nights. Such an adorable little kid.
私が呼びかけたらあなたは現れて話し相手になってくれる？
うりゅう。エンジェが呼び出してくれるのを楽しみにしてる。うりゅうりゅうりゅう。
You're looking happy. Sakutaro playfully pressed and rubbed his head against me like a cat. Nah. You silly little lion. It should be the opposite way around. Suddenly getting this cute younger brother made me feeling a bit confused, a bit embarrassed, and a bit happy. Unable to understand why I hadn't been able to honestly accept this feeling, I felt tears well up in my eyes.
お姉ちゃん、私頑張るわ。
じゃあ練習をしてみよう。同じ同盟の魔女ベアトリーチェの家具を呼び出してみよう。
ベアトリーチェの家具。
Hearing Beatrice's name mentioned gave me a slightly strange feeling. When it came to the crime of Rokenjima, the public had made a lot of noise about it being a witch's sacrificial ritual or something like that. And that witch was Beatrice. So, if the culprit of that crime was a witch, it would mean that this very woman was the culprit who took away my family. However, according to Marione-chan, Beatrice was a good witch. If I held negative emotions towards Beatrice, she would get mad, argue with me and call me mean, and refuse to talk to me for a while. One-chan was my only close friend right now. So to avoid worsening the mood of my close friend, I had decided to think of Beatrice as nothing more than One-chan's magic master. Yeah, that is a good mentality for now. Cause despite what happened in Game 3, like I said, like what Beatrice might end up how should I even say this? I'm still worried about Maria when it comes to her interactions with Beatrice. So I need to be careful about how Beatrice interacts with Maria over here. If she has like any ulterior motives. In the games, that is. And anyway, my belief is that the crime was a murder plot hatched by Aunt Eva. Someday I'm definitely gonna bring that out to light.
エンジェ、また体内に妨げが混じってるよ。
ごめんなさい。集中を書いたわ。もう一度。
One-chan is really something. She instantly noticed that I was being overcome with idle thoughts. After shaking my head just once, I imagined the wind blowing through the vast sky.
煉獄の七姉妹。なんだか物騒な名前ね。
でもとっても賑やかで楽しい子たちだよ。エンジェの新しいお友達になってくれるかもしれない。まずは私が呼び出してみせるね。見てて。
Marione-chan lifted both hands up to the level of her head, and quietly unified her mind. In a state that I could not attain without meditating for a long period of time, she reached in the span of a few quick breaths. Then, a pale blue light began to gather in her palms, and one by one the girls began to show themselves. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. The way they were summoned one after another in a line was overwhelmingly impressive. Incredible. The 7 Sisters of Purgatory, just like the illustrations in One-chan's grimoire. The younger sisters were behind the eldest, Lucifer, who saluted One-chan.
煉獄の七姉妹、ここに。マリア卿、ご無沙汰を申し上げております。
Oh yeah, I think I made a mistake over here in saying that Belphegor was the oldest, and I was thinking that Lucifer was after that, but nah, it's the other way around. Lucifer is the oldest, and afterwards it's Belphegor.
久しぶりだね。みんなも元気？
我ら家具は刺激されてこそ家具。久しぶりのお呼び出しを 心より光栄に思います。サクタロ
Uh-oh. Sakutaro is in danger.
ー、お久しぶり。相変わらず美味しいじゃなかった。かわいい。私が一番。今日もふかふかプニプニしててかわいい。私にも抱かせて、私にも抱かせて。
Ah, great. He's gonna get squished to death. I guess there's your first sacrifice in this game.
うりゅう、苦しい。僕は逃げないから離してみんな。こら、あんたたち！マリア教の家具を壊す気？とにかく離れなさいよ。抱きしめるの禁止。
What do you mean hugging is prohibited? Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about Sakutaro's well-being, but at the same time, it's not like we should prohibit hugs.
そう言ってるサタン姉が一番抱きしめたがってるよ。
I mean, hugs should be the special spells of magic.
私は別にあんなふかふかのプニプニのワフワフなんて興味ないんだから。
Yeah, you do.
こら、マリア教とエンジェ様の御前よ。静かになさい、このグマイども。
They were so energetic. The sudden burst of activity as soon as they appeared left me stunned. And even greater than that was my surprise that the innocent Sakutaro was on such good terms with the Seven Sisters.
意外。サク太郎があんな物騒な連中にこんなに可愛がられてるなんて。
I mean, why wouldn't he be?
同じ同盟の仲間たちだもん。怖くなんかないよ。
でも万が一彼女らの機嫌を損ねちゃったら、サク太郎あっという間にやられちゃいそう。
大丈夫。同盟の魔女とその家具はみんな仲良しなの。だからサク太郎も安心して遊べるの。
Well, that's good. Because if it were not, then I would have I would have had Beatrice accounted for that.
それはもちろん私やエンジェも同じだよ。
One of the trees is a Mariage Sorciere. Mutual non-aggression and non-interference. Member witches must respect each other's magic and creations. Even the sisters, who were normally extremely combative and dangerous, interacted with fellow Alliance members as friends. So to the Seven Sisters, Sakutaro was a common friend. He was loved by all the Seven Sisters, and they were even trying to steal him away from each other. The scene as they all surrounded him and loved him was actually a bit charming.
なるほど。マリアージュ・ソルシエールの仲間同士なのね。
At a glance, you'd think that Sakutaro's easygoing adventurer and the Seven Sisters, and selling one would be like water and oil. You know, like they'd never be compatible. And yet, they were interacting in such a friendly way, as if it was completely natural. If all the peoples of the world could be joined in this wonderful alliance, then if the whole world could immediately become friends.
七姉妹のみんな聞いて。
Wouldn't that be a wonderful thought?
今エンジェは魔法の修行中なの。だからみんなの力を貸してほしいの。
Indeed. I feel a little a little more relieved right now. But I won't lie, after all that is happening over here, I am acting as... I'm basically feeling like a parent over here, you know, trying to make sure that everything is alright. I mean, it's like the children are playing over here and, you know, helping each other and all that. And I'm here to make sure that everything is fine. That's how I'm feeling right over here. That I worry about stuff going wrong over here, and I want them to be happy and all that.
かしこまりました、マリア卿。しかし、具体的には何を？
君たちを権限させる魔力を私からエンジェに移す。その状態でいつも彼女の身近にいてあげてほしいの。彼女の話し相手になったりしてあげるだけでいい。
恐れながらエンジェ様の魔力では私たち7姉妹すべてを四六時中呼び出し続けるのは容易なことではないかと。
The oldest sister, Lucifer, gauged my reaction as she advised this, speaking reservedly. In short, she was saying that the burden might be too heavy for me at this point in time.
そういう修行なの。エンジェはみんなが想像しているより才能と魔力があるよ。ちょっぴり辛いかなとは思うけど、今のエンジェなら挑戦する価値はあると思う。エンジェ、今から彼女たちを権限させる魔力を君に切り替える。つまりエンジェが呼び出したのと同じ状態になるの。
So what Marione-chan was trying to say was something like this. To keep the Seven Sisters manifested, you are burdened continuously with a significant amount of magical power. Maybe you could say it was like training while wearing weighted wristbands.
風流、7姉妹全員はかなり大変。
I would be careful in how you say that, Sakutaro. I would be careful in that.
エンジェ、いきなりは厳しくない？
ありがとうサク太郎。でも魔女になるための修行だしね。やれるところまでやってみるわ。
They didn't necessarily do seem boisterous. But even if they're doing it for the sake of my training, having them be with me will surely distract me from my loneliness. At least a little. I understood it would be an ordeal, but before anything else, I wanted to give it a shot.
もしも辛かったら無理をしないでね。みんなもエンジェが辛そうだったら加減してあげて。
かしこまりました。わかったね、あんたたち。はい、お家様。それではエンジェ様、これより我ら煉獄の7姉妹はエンジェ様の家具となります。マリエ卿、お願いいたします。
うん。じゃあエンジェ、始めてもいい？